These are all about preparation. The first thing that you want to do when making a delicious lasagna is to have all of your vegetables cut and go ahead and cook your meat. To save time, I'm going to just put my vegetables in, prep my meat, and then we'll get started on the sauce. As you can see here, I'm putting in onion, celery, and bell pepper. The reason I put celery in my ground beef is just a personal preference. You can do it the way you want to because the recipe should be what you like, not what someone else eats. Now, for me, celery is great in ground beef. I use it if I'm making a Spanish dish or whatever. Anytime I'm using ground beef, I typically have some celery in it. It gives it a really, really good flavor. So we'll go ahead and get this meat brown, and then I'll show you the next step, which is making our sauce. Okay, so we have our meat all cooked. We added a little sausage to the meat that you saw before. Now I'm putting a little sausage in here. This is just going to be for our sauce. And then see how it's very little. Not much at all. So now let's throw in our vegetables. The reason why I'm doing the sausage, and this is just onion. The reason I'm doing the sausage is because with sausage, it has the fat on it that I would need to help saute these vegetables anyway. So I won't have to add as much olive oil, if any. But if you noticed before with the big pot of meat that I had there, I didn't add any oil to my meat. I don't put oils in my meat. I just don't. Not in my ground beef. Not in sausage. I buy the ones that have fat so I don't have to add anything. Now for this, I'm just using so little sausage that the olive oil will be used in order to help saute these vegetables and get them nice and translucent. But I like to let it cook for a little bit with the sausage first. And then I'll come in and I'll add a little olive oil. And use whatever kind you want. Use the extra virgin olive oil. I'm not a purist. Not important. To me anyway. I buy whatever I can get for a decent price. So, if it's extra virgin, then it's extra virgin. If not, it's just 100% olive oil. Like I said, I'm not a purist. There's probably some Italians watching and grabbing their heart, and I apologize in advance. And as an apology, we're going to call this sauce what it really is, and that's called gravy. So we're going to cook these vegetables down, and we'll come back and we'll start adding in our tomatoes. Okay, so to our vegetables, we're going to add a nice amount of garlic. And let that start cooking. But also, we're going to throw in some Italian sausage. These I cut up and add later. And I'm just doing about 5. Alright, so we have our sausage cooked and set to the side. We'll chop that up and add it later. Right now, we're going to add tomato paste. Like I said, this is a large quantity of lasagna. So everything is going to be a little large. Right now I'm using 2 cans of tomato paste. Just cheap little tomato paste you can get at any store. This one happens to be Hunt's. And it doesn't matter to me what tomato paste or tomatoes you use because it's all about the seasoning in my world. Alright, so now let's add the seasoning. The tomatoes. We'll add the seasoning later. Lots and lots of tomatoes. And So right now I'm at 4 tomatoes and 2 tomato pastes so far. And we're going to start cooking this up and seeing how this goes. I actually think that we may end up with a bit more tomatoes being added. But we'll just let this cook down until we have a really beautiful chunky salsa. I'm sorry, gravy. Alright. Well, while it's cooking, we're going to add some seasonings. I have an Italian seasoning blend that I like. It's like pizza seasoning. And it's got all the basics in it. It's got your oregano, your basil, your rosemary, your thyme. All the heavy hitters. And of course a little more garlic. And I use a liberal amount because I love herbs and spices. So we'll let this cook down. And we'll come back and you'll see what our finished product looks like, and we will start to assemble. Alright, so our sauce is ready. I did go ahead and add 4 more cans of tomatoes, and I'll again have the sauces in the description. The reason why I did that is because I like my sauce chunky. Now I use an immersion blender to kind of liquefy the first 4 cans, and then I added the 4 cans on top because I like the chunkiness of it. But this came out really, really well. What I'm going to do is make what our household calls the test lasagna. Alright, so every good Italian lasagna has ricotta, but I hate ricotta with a passion. So I'm going to show you the substitute that I use since I don't like ricotta. In here I have 2 pounds of cream cheese, and to that I'm going to add parmesan. Now this parm is shaved, and I'm also going to add a little shredded. If I can get it open. Alright. So that's a little shredded. You're going to do about 1/3 cup, and don't worry if the recipe seems slightly confusing because I will have it in the box under the video. Next, I like to add parmesan. Parsley flakes. So I add those, and now typically you would add garlic for the next step, but I'm going to have garlic. I have tons of garlic in my meat, tons of garlic in my sauce, so I don't think it's necessary to add more garlic. The next thing that you do need to add is your eggs, and I'm going to add them one at a time and stir after each one. For this particular recipe, because I'm making so much lasagna, I'm going to use 4 eggs. So it's about 1 egg per 8-ounce container of whether you're using ricotta or cream cheese, whichever one works for you. Did it record? Okay, so first thing you're going to do is ladle in, or in my case I'm using a measuring cup because, like I said, it's going to be a lot of lasagna. This is just the test pan. And that's usually the one that we eat up. So, next, you're going to add your pasta noodles. And I've already cooked my pasta noodles and had them laying out. I like it nice and noodly, so, I know, not a word. But, and if anybody's wondering, I ordered these pans on the Sam's Club website. So, if you guys want to make little pans like this, you can. So, I do sauce on the bottom. That helps it keep from sticking. Plus, it's nice and saucy, and we like sauce in this house. The next thing I'm going to add is this time just a little sauce for the layer. And this is why I like using the measuring cup. I can use the bottom of the measuring cup to help spread my sauce without getting extra dirty. Then next we'll add meat. And so this is where I'll put in, you know, that ground beef and Italian sausage mix I had earlier with the vegetables that I seasoned up. I'll put that in. Kind of move that around. And you'll see why we like it saucy. It's because we put a lot of stuff in it. The next thing I'm going to add is a pizza cheese. Now, I buy this pizza cheese at a little Italian grocery store. And I usually freeze it, which is why it's all ugly and broken right now. That's what happens when you pull it out of the freezer. Sometimes it's not as pretty as it should be. But this cheese is amazing when it melts. I use it for pizza and anything like that. Righty. The next thing we're going to add, remember those Italian sausages? Yes. We're putting those on. And it's going to have a little here, little there. Ah, there we go. So, you don't have to have a lot for the Italian sausage. That's enough. So, Italian sausage here. Next thing we're adding is what would be your ricotta mix, which is my cream cheese mix here. Okay. On top of that, I like to add a little sauce. Not too much. Just a little here and there. And then I'm back on my noodles again. And then it's just a rinse and repeat. And finish it off with your Parmesan cheese. Because that's what I'm going to do with mine. So I'll go ahead and get this layered up. Exactly the same layers. Creature of habit here. And I'm going to be doing several big lasagnas like this. So, if anybody wants to come over for dinner, come on. But like I said, at the end, we will top it off with our shredded Parmesan cheese. And since we're almost at the top, I'll go ahead and finish it with you guys watching. You've watched me for this long. And see, my lasagna is meaty and saucy. It is delicious. But with lasagna, like with anything, you have to make it your own. If you don't like something about lasagna, just change it and do what you do like. Add as much cheese or as little cheese as you want. There's no rules in cooking. Once you follow a recipe once, the next time you should make it your goal to make it your own. Now it's time for those Italian sausages again. I put more on that in last time, so had to even that out. Oh, our faux ricotta mix. And I dab mine all over. You can make it nice and smooth if you really like the way it tastes. That'd probably be really good. Alright. Now, if you like, and I like, because I like the pasta, you can put pasta on top. And that's how I like to finish mine, because I like to have the extra pasta. You know, all the things in the world we don't necessarily need, but God is good. There we go. So, tuck that in. And these are just, you know, the cheap noodles you buy at the store. Normally, I make my own pasta, which I'll probably do a video to show you how I do that. If you guys are interested, just let me know. But I didn't do it this time because I'm making a lot of lasagna and I don't want to. I'll do that for if it's just me making it for my family, but I'm making it for other people too, like I am today. And I ain't got time for that. Alright. So now, it's just time to top it off with some more cheese. I'm going to do a little of that pizza cheese. And then I'll just do the parm. Break up some of them. Let's see. Just in random places. It's not necessary. I just like it cheesy. Then we'll do this. Good stuff. And this is just shredded Parmesan cheese all over the top. And seriously, when I bake this, it's going to go in the oven, 350 degrees for a few minutes. Basically, just kind of getting everything married together. Then, you know, your favorite little cheap craft, you know, 3-blend cheese. I like to sprinkle a little. Just a little across the top. I like the nuttiness. I know some people will be like, hey, no, that's wood. Well, I like wood. So, so that's that. We'll bake it. I'll try to get you a final picture. If you don't see a final picture at the end of the video, go over to Instagram. You can follow me there at hey_Tamona, and you'll see pictures. Also, I'll put that link at the bottom as well.